What's up everyone on Facebook? Welcome to the live stream here today. As well here on Instagram. Hey guys, welcome. I hope you guys are doing really well. As you can see in the description and on Instagram on the photo, I've decided to take on a WhatsApp number, a business number, so you guys can send me your questions on WhatsApp. Here's the phone. It's an old school iPhone 4. The questions that have been sent to the phone, I will just pick a random few of the people and we'll start calling them to talk through their questions. So if you have a question and if you want to get to on the phone with me, this is your time, this is your moment. The phone number is on the live stream, so you can send your message through WhatsApp and I will pick a few of them, call them and go through the questions that you guys might have. So like I said, if you want to have a talk with me, this is your opportunity. Okay, let's see. Let's start calling the first one. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. By the way, this is a first for me as well, so if something goes wrong, I've tried to set up all the technique perfectly, but it might happen that it doesn't really work out well, so we'll see. But let's get started calling the first one. Yeah, let's just switch off this. What's up? Shit, this has to go. And there we are. Hey guys. So let's start call the first one. Hoping he answers. I'll put him on speakerphone so you guys can hear him as well. What's up, Konstantin? On Facebook, welcome. Radu. Doesn't sound like he's gonna pick up, is it? Too bad. On to the next one. There we go. Hey man.
What's up?
Hey man, this is JoeySuki.
Yo, I saw it.
How are you, man?
I'm fine. I'm very fine. Today's I have holiday. It's great.
Holiday? Where are you from?
Germany.
Germany. Oh, we have a holiday here in the Netherlands as well.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you're off today.
Yes.
Great, man. What was your name? Sorry.
I'm Moritz.
Moritz. Hey, man. You sent in a question. Can you tell me what the question was?
Everyone is talking about building a brand and building up a great brand with music and But my question was, how do I build a brand? Only making music and releasing it? Is that really the only way? Yeah.
So that's the question. If you have to do more than just release your music.
Yeah. I release my music, but I don't know what to share on Instagram because every day making a story about I sit here in my studio and make a new track. I think that's boring to watch.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is the way how you build a brand. You build a brand by creating a lot of social media content to make sure that people see what you're actually doing. And I think what's most important with that is that you don't only show them the highlights of your career, but you take them towards on your path. Like you literally take them on your journey as an artist. Because right now you're probably not at the top, but you want to get there. So showing the people what you do to get from where you are right now to where you want to go in the future gives them an insight into who you are.
Okay.
What I believe in is like creating a brand that has something like 3 pillars. So 3 kind of topics that you post about. So
Okay.
the first topic obviously is music, right? So that could be anything music related to you. That could be the studio, that could be gigs, that could be your tours. If you buy a new synthesizer, anything that might be music related, that's something you can post about. But aside from that, you should try to come up with, well, 1 or 2 extra topics that you could start posting about. For instance, food or sports, or maybe you like gaming. But anything you like, so it's something you can keep doing, and that is personal to you. So if you start doing those things and start being consistent with it, you will start to notice that after a while people will start to follow you and people will start to recognize your brand.
Yeah, we made a vlog on YouTube about traveling around Germany. I was on the Mixcon as well. Saw you there. Nice talks. And we made a vlog about that. But we thought it's boring to post only, hey, we are in studio and making a new track. But maybe it's
You know, it's boring to you. It sounds boring to you. But if someone decides to follow you because they like your music, you know, always try to look at the things how you do it yourself. What's one of the DJs that you follow yourself, that you're a fan of yourself?
Oh, a lot. Martin Garrix, David Guetta.
Okay, let's take Martin Garrix. Let's take Martin Garrix. What do you like to see about his content?
Yeah, about his shows and his new music.
It's the personal stuff, right?
Yeah, too.
Because if he was only
the whole product.
Sorry?
The whole product, also everything he's showing on social media.
Exactly. So that's what you should try to do for yourself as well. Because to you it might be uninteresting because you live your life. You see it every day. But for someone who is following you, they only see those 10-second videos or that photo that you posted, or they only have this small insight in your life. So this one little picture or one little video that you post a day could give them an insight in your life and in who you are and what you do.
Okay.
So always think about the fact that it might not be interesting to you, but to your following it might be interesting.
So building a brand sounds that difficult, but at the end it's very simple, just showing what you do and not showing only the music, but
showing what you do, showing who you are, but the most important thing with building a brand is that you're being consistent with it. So not just post 1 photo a day, but post every day, post 3 times, 4 times a day. And
only
that's
stories?
Sorry?
Only Instagram stories?
Everywhere.
Example,
like try to be on every platform where you could be, you know, like Instagram stories, Instagram timeline, Facebook, Snapchat. Try to create content all around the platforms where your audience is located.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But as I say, it sounds that difficult. Yeah, you have to build a brand and make this, make that.
That's the thing, you know, people make it harder in their minds because they start to overthink it. Eventually, you start a brand by creating content and just be consistent with it. That's how easy it is. But we try to find a lot of reasons of how it works, and during that time we don't seriously do anything. So we don't build a brand. Right? So I would say stop thinking, start doing.
Yeah, okay.
It's my favorite motto.
We made a release about a month ago, and the last month was only about finding some Spotify playlist to be featured on, and I thought, oh, that's that boring. for the people to watch. And I made nothing on social media because of that. And yeah, but yeah, it makes sense.
Perfect, great. Cool, well, thanks for your question, man. Thanks for sending it in. I'm gonna call the next one. No problem, man.
So have a nice day. Thank you.
You too. Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool, so that was the first person. Obviously a question about branding. I saw I missed a conversation. Let's just start call people back. See what that's all about. Okay, here we go. Next one. Yo! Yo! Hey man, how are you doing?
Yeah, bro. I'm from India.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm studying in high school right now.
Okay.
And I'm really having trouble. I need someone to guide me so that I can pursue a career in music.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dream to make it big in the EDM industry.
Mm-hmm.
So my current situation right now is I'm in the 12th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to finish it fast, and the thing is, I feel I've chosen the wrong stream and the wrong school as well.
You feel like you've chosen the wrong school?
Yeah. So my parents always advise me to have a backup in case I don't make it big. I can always go back to the thing which I did for school and pursue that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that. I took science, which is my biggest mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I managed to pass my tests, and I devote most of my time in making music.
Okay.
So I haven't started DJing yet. I'm mostly more of a producer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I am really interested in production. So like you said, the live stream you conducted yesterday, I think you said to invest the money I have for the music school in my career rather than going to a music school.
Yeah. Oh, you are the one who asked the question about the music school.
Yeah, I was the guy who asked the question about the music school.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in this, and So my question is, so if I don't go to a music school, there are a ton of things out there on the internet that help that are there that are required for producing music, like stuff like compression, upward compression, this, that, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, though I chose relatively simple terms. So I know there are like crazier stuff out there which are more difficult to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what order should I learn these topics in, or rather I don't know what topics to learn at the right time.
Okay, so what do you already know about music production? Where do you feel like you're struggling right now?
So, I'm really progressing when it comes to mixing,
Mm-hmm.
and I really I don't master my own music. I send it to a mastering engineer.
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So my master really sucks, and I know the basics of music production, like compression, upward compression, parallel compression, and most of the technical part. And my main difficulty is when it comes to sound design and etc. I didn't mainly focus on sound design because I saw a tutorial by Laidback Luke, which he said that he gave a really nice example where he said that there's no point in learning about the engine of a car when you don't even know how a car properly works.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah. So the same, yeah. So I really liked that advice, and I went on with it, and my production is getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where's the point where you're struggling with? Like, is it just sound design, or do you feel like you need to learn more about music theory so you know how to create better melodies, or?
No. I know how to create better melodies. It's more about improving with the technical part. So I play the piano as well.
Okay, so it's just like mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
And why do you want to get better in mastering?
Because it really sucks for an artist to always keep sending a track to the same mastering engineer. At one point, you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want to waste money just to depend on mastering At one point, you really feel like you want to master your own song. And sometimes, honestly speaking, there are times when the mastering engineer masters your track, and you don't like some areas where it sounds, and even after you give him you tell him the way how he needs to tweak it, you're still not kind of satisfied with it.
Okay, you know what the thing is? The reason why I ask is because when it comes down to mastering, you have to understand that mastering is a completely different, how do you say that? Like a completely different job than creating music is. And if the only thing that you're struggling with is mastering, I can advise you like one or two companies that I work with. They are great mastering companies. They do revisions as well. So like you say, if you aren't happy with the mastering, they can fix it for you. And they're not that expensive. So if you want to, you can email me at joey@artistcoaching.nl. And I will try to connect you with those companies. But if that's the only thing you're struggling with, my advice would be don't focus on it too much, because eventually the creative part of the track is the most important part, the melodies. And of course mixing is important as well, but mastering is something you can outsource. And if you can do that for a small amount of money, I wouldn't worry about that too much, you know, because knowing how to master is one. Like you have to spend a lot of time to learn how to master properly. Aside from that, you also have to get like a decent room to do it in. You have to get decent speakers. So
I produce in my bedroom.
Yeah, so it's really tough to get it in an environment where you can actually create a proper master. So in my opinion, it would be better to say, okay, I'm gonna invest a little bit of my money into a proper master, instead of working for 4-5 years learning how to master, spending a lot of money to actually create a room where I can master, and then end up being at the exact same point as where you are right now.
Yeah. So right now, I really have this habit where I don't blame my production equipment for my production. Okay. So also, I produce on studio headphones only, and I don't have monitor speakers at home. And I find it very expensive, so I don't want to go for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
So the thing is, sometimes when in my tracks, the advantage you have with speakers is you can hear the thumpingness of the kick in your chest, and you don't get the same feel when you have headphones.
Yeah, that's true. That's because you don't have a sub.
It'd be really great if I had a subwoofer or something. So right now I don't have the equipment with me. So any tips you can give so that just with headphones I can fix my low end?
I have the perfect tip for you. It does cost some money, but it's way cheaper than monitor speakers, and it's the perfect solution because your neighbors don't even hear it. It's called the sub pack. Wait, let me grab it for the people in the live stream. Have you heard of the sub pack?
No.
If you go over to my live stream right now, you'll see it. Otherwise, you can look back at it later on. But it's this little thing that you can connect on your chair, and it actually replaces your sub frequencies, so you can literally feel them in your back. So when you have a microphone, you hear the mid and the high frequencies on your microphone, or sorry, on your headphones, but you can feel the sub bass in your back.
Oh, so I think it also helps really with giving the track, the kick and bass, a really nice sidechain as well.
Exactly, you can literally feel what's happening with the frequency. So with this, you actually bypass the room, like the lags that your room has. Your neighbors don't hear it, so you can keep making music until midnight.
That's really cool.
And you don't need monitor speakers. So I would advise Subpack. That would be the best solution for you.
That's really cool. I'll really check it out. And around how much does it come to?
I think it's in the Netherlands. I think it's 350 euros. So that's about 400 American dollars, I think.
Okay.
It's pretty expensive, but it's not as expensive as monitor speakers.
Exactly. And also, I watch all of your videos, so I really get a lot of help from them.
Thank you.
And so you also said that you should rather than sending your songs to labels and stuff, you should rather try self-releasing your stuff and create your own fan base. So what if like you're an artist that gets rejected by labels often, and like the main problem with me is when I don't think, like, after I listen to my music like 1,000 times, I just like have this feeling like, oh, will the audience like it, or should I just keep it in my laptop, or so I sent it to many labels as well, and let's say they rejected it. So it kind of puts me down and doesn't make me want to release my track. And the thing is, like, I could fix the things in my tracks if I could get proper feedback, but I don't get that as well. I send it to many artists so that I get feedback, but
you know what the thing is? Why what's holding you from releasing it when a label declines it? When a label rejects it?
See, when a label rejects it, my mindset is automatically read, okay, if the label rejects it, my music isn't good enough.
Yeah, and that's based on nothing, you know, that's something you tell yourself.
Okay.
The only thing that's the truth, like if the label rejects it, could mean that there's only one person, the A&R of the label, that didn't like your track. But it's only just one person, you know, there's a billion other people on this planet who might like your track. But the problem is with labels, there's one person who's deciding on it. So if that one person doesn't like your track, shit happens, you know, like there's still a billion other people to reach out to.
Yeah, I completely get your point, and I'll go forward with releasing my track.
Great. Let me know how it works out, okay?
Yeah. And you also said you do give feedback to tracks, right?
Yep, I do the live streams on my Facebook page, where you can send in the tracks.
So do you have any emails where I can send your tracks to?
It's just when I go live, you can put them in the comment section and I pick a few to listen to.
Okay, fine.
Great.
That sounds really great. Yeah, so when do you do your live streams?
I try to do it.
I'm not really that active on Facebook.
I try to do it every 2 weeks when I have the time for it. But yeah, I'll announce them on my Instagram stories, so if you want to know, just keep an eye on those socials. But yeah, I try to do it every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, that's really, really great.
Great. Thank you, man. Thanks for sending me your questions, and good luck with everything.
Yeah, bro. Thank you so much, and thanks for the sub-pack suggestion as well. I'll surely check it out.
No problem, man. Good luck.
Good luck.
Bye.
Same to you, bro. Bye.
Bye. So, that was another call. I see the messages coming in. Let's see who I'm gonna call. Oh. This one isn't working. Let's see. Oh. There we go. What's up? This is JoeySuki. Oh. So. Yo, hey, what's up?
Actually, I want to ask a question like, okay, I'm having difficulty with production, and I'm posting a song on YouTube and other platforms, and I got like a many negative feedbacks and people saying like, oh guys, this guy sucks and like that,
Yeah.
It kind of make me feel down, and I want to ask like, how can you, ignore those people, and how can you, I don't know.
How can you ignore the negative comments?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah.
By ignoring them.
You ignore them.
By ignoring them, by just not paying attention to them.
Ignoring them because they are so annoying, and I kind of feel so bad about like I'm doing my 100% on my production, but they just like, okay, this guy sucks. That's it.
Yeah, but that's just one man's opinion. Like, I was talking to the previous guy as well, and the thing is, when someone tells you that your music sucks, that's just one man's opinion.
I guess, that's right.
Yeah, so there's like a billion other people on this planet who could like your music. So why focus on that one person who dislikes it?
Yeah, that's right what you're saying, man. I mean, I'm like this guy. I kind of feel so hurt if someone saying, some annoying things to me, and I just feel so bad about that.
Yeah.
I try to improve myself.
Yeah, I can imagine, but it's the same when you go to YouTube to look at the comments, you can expect some negative comments. So if you don't want to be confronted with it, just don't look at the comments.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that way, man. I mean, I post a song on YouTube and I was taking comment every time someone posts a comment on my, YouTube, my song.
Yeah.
Every time I check it, some people post a negative, and one of my friends posted like, okay, doing a great job, keep doing that. But someone says like, man, you just suck.
Yeah, think about it this way: that the person who posted that negative comment actually took the time to spend 5 minutes to post something negative about you. I would just take that as a compliment.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I need to also take a compliment. Maybe I have to turn that compliment into a positive way, because I guess I have to improve myself much more, because I guess I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I have to improve myself.
Yeah, I think you should reverse your thoughts about it. It's actually pretty cool that someone takes the time to put a comment on your video, and the fact that they don't like it, that's something you can't work with. But yeah, that's what it is. It's your music.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, man. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it works for you.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, have a nice day to you. I'm actually at my work, and maybe my boss gonna get mad at me, so I think I gotta go. But thank you for your feedback, and thank you for what you're doing. I'm kind of feeling nervous, man. I don't know why.
You don't have to be nervous, man. Thanks for sending me your question.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, and keep helping people like us. Thank you so much. You're really doing an amazing job, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Means a lot.
Okay, bye. Peace out.
Bye. So interesting to see how many people are struggling with what other people think of their music, And I think that when you make music just for yourself. You make music you like to make, and what other people think of it, that's just an extra. And today, like, we have a lot of social media where people can give their opinions on your music, and that there could be harsh, there could be negative comments in it. So if you know that you don't handle those comments well, just don't look them up. Just don't go to YouTube or go to Instagram to see what they are talking about you. But eventually, like, the ultimate where you want to go is that you just don't care about it. You just don't care about what other people have to say about your music, because it's your music. It's not theirs. And it's just the way that you like to have music in its perfect way. So yeah, don't focus on it. Don't try to focus on the positive comments, not on the negative comments. I see a few comments on Facebook. Nico asked if it's about the sub egg, I guess. Is it for the feeling or also bone conduction? No, it's just for the feeling. It could go through your bones though, but it's just for the feeling. And Stern says most big labels do their masters. My opinion is just don't suck at it and you are good to go. Could be. Okay, so let's do another call. I'll take this one. Let me see if it works. Yep, there we go. Hopefully you pick up. Yo, this is JoeySuki.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey man, all good, and you?
That's good, very good.
Where you from?
Africa.
Sorry?
I'm from South Africa.
South Africa, oh nice. I've been there a couple of times.
Yes. Really?
Yeah, I've played
Which part of South
there.
Africa?
Sorry?
Which part of South Africa?
I've been in Johannesburg, in Durban, and in, what was the other town?
Cape Town.
No, not Cape Town. My gig in Cape Town got cancelled. I'm still bummed about it.
Oh, damn.
What was the other one? Durban, Johannesburg, and... yeah, I don't know. Anyway, You sent in a question. What was the question?
The question was last night I found a song Thomas Jack Rivers featuring Nico and Vince, and I decided I really want to do a remix of the song. So I started with the intro, but the thing is I can't find any vocals for to mix in with the song. I really want to keep in the context with the original song. So yeah, that's my little problem. And then most of my problems are mixing and mastering.
Okay, so the question is about the remixes. How do I get the vocals, or?
Yeah, I search on YouTube for vocals, on Google, SoundCloud. I can't get vocals anywhere for that song.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm afraid that the only option to get the vocals, if they haven't given it away for free, or if they're not available on Beatport or whatever, I'm afraid that the only option you have is reaching out to the original label or the original artist to ask if they can send you the acapella. So that's one option. And otherwise, you see those people using those anti-phases, so they put the instrumental against the original mix, and then they filter out the acapella. That's just a trick that you can do, but normally the sound quality is way too bad, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would recommend reaching out to the original label and the original artist to see if they are willing to send you the vocal.
Okay, I'll try that. Just like normally when I contact labels or something, they don't really reply or stuff.
Yeah, that could happen, but then at least you've tried, because now you have nothing. So.
Yes. Otherwise than that, I'm thinking about doing an instrumental with it. That's maybe another idea for the remix or something.
If there's a strong melody in it, which is clearly recognizable, you can always just replay the melody and create an instrumental remix of it.
Yes, look, the intro it wasn't tricky at all, but I think the melody, because it's in the original song, it's like it's mixed in, so you can't hear the different patterns of the melody.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna struggle a bit with the melody and the patterns and stuff, but the intro melody was really easy.
Okay, yeah, well, I would just take the part that you think is the most recognizable, that people might recognize from the original, and try to use that for a remix. If you want to do an instrumental remix, that's possible.
Yeah, I've also, last night I thought, and through today, I thought like, okay, why don't I use the intro beat and use the intro beat as an intro beat and as a drop beat. Maybe so I can work.
Yeah, maybe that would work. If you don't have the vocal and if you're not capable of getting it, you have to work around the options that you have. So if you really want to make a remix of it and you don't have the acapella, you have to figure out a way to use the instrumental for yourself. That could be using the intro. That could be just literally cutting out a little piece of the track and use it. That could mean remaking the melody. Doesn't really matter what you do, but do something you think works for you.
Yeah, I'm completely speechless. It's like, how do I say this? Because it's like now from last year August I've started producing.
Okay.
And I'm still in my learning phase, so it's gonna be really hard.
It is.
I'm working towards a big dream, so yeah.
Great, man. Yeah, and you've already come a long way. Like you're in it for almost a year now, and it's probably gonna take a bit longer until you really feel that you're happy with your results, like that you're happy with what you've created. It could take a bit longer. For me, it took like 4 years until I was happy with my track. But yeah, you're just getting started, and it's really normal that you're frustrated with the process and that it takes so long.
Yes. I completely understand.
Cool. Excuse
me?
Is there any other thing you wanted to ask?
A little bit of advice on mixing and mastering. Yeah, I'm really struggling with that.
For now, like if you're so early in the process of music production, if you're just getting started like you do, I would advise you to just first start to work on actually the creative part. So how do you create an arrangement? How do you create like a cool sound, you know, like a sound design kind of thing? Because mixing and mastering is like the end of the process. And if you dive into it way too early, you will be overwhelmed about all the things that you are not knowing yet. Which could demotivate you, because it's really confronting if you find out how much you don't know about music. So I would focus on like the creative part, you know, like the fun part, like try to create some cool tracks, try to work on the arrangements, the melodies, the chord progressions, those kind of things. And even like maybe like a year from now, you can start focusing on mixing or mastering. And until that time, if you're really struggling with it, try to find a mastering company who can do it for you for a small amount of money.
Okay, that's quite nice advice.
And if you want to, I have some companies I can recommend to you, so you can reach out to me and I will connect you with them.
All right, I will do that in the future.
Sure.
So, and then also one last question: chord progressions, and that stuff. I really, you know, I have this plugin True Pianos, and I'm really struggling to get the root notes to sound all the same so that we can actually fit together and make chords. So at this point, I'm really struggling with chords because chords in a song they have that special place in the song.
Yeah.
And at this moment, I'm really struggling because I don't know which notes exactly to use that it actually sound like a chord.
Yeah. So that sounds like you have to learn more about music theory. So you have to learn more about how chords work, which notes go together perfectly, which notes don't go together perfectly, and that has all to do with music theory. So there's a lot of like courses or like free PDFs out there. I think there's even a guy who posted something in my Facebook community page where he explained a lot of stuff about the basics of music theory. So maybe that could work for you. And there's a lot of free stuff out there that could help you with this.
Yes, I had this, not a while back, but also not long ago, I've searched on Google for understanding basic music theory, and all of a sudden I just put it on my laptop and stuff and never looked at it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You should look at it.
Yeah, but you know, music theory is very complicated because I don't understand.
I wouldn't make it too hard for you. I would start off with the basics. So just like major, minor, those kind of things. And if you know that, it already helps you. And from there, you can always go into professional mode and start to know more about seventh skill chords and stuff. But until that, focus on the basics, because that's the first thing you should need to know.
Yes. This is everything just about music it sounds so complicated.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people think that making music is easy because a lot of people start doing it with the laptops and stuff, but it's actually pretty complicated.
Yeah, once you get to the more professional stuff and that kind of things, you just, okay, now what am I in for now? So
exactly, because everything in life where you want to get to a professional level is hard, you know, and that's the whole reason why it's hard. That's the whole reason why not a lot of people are professional.
Yes, like I'm speechless.
It's the same. It's the same with like a professional football player. Those guys train a lot to become a professional football player.
I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, I would advise you to dive deeper into music theory. If you want to know more about mastering or want to know more about those companies, reach out to me if you want to. And until that time, enjoy making music, enjoy creating melodies and chord progressions, and try to get better at it. And don't beat yourself up that you're not at a professional level yet, because you're just in it for like 10 months, you know. You have a long way to go.
Yes, I really know that one.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Perfect, man. I wish you best of luck.
Thank you. For you as well.
No problem, man. Thanks.
I really appreciate the call.
No problem.
So you must enjoy. You must also enjoy making your music. And we'll keep in touch.
Great. Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, guys, so that was another call from a guy in South Africa. It's great to see how many people from all over the world send text messages. Like right now, I've had people from India, South Africa, the States. It's really fun. I'm definitely gonna do this more and more. So I'm actually gonna post this one. If you want to have your question answered, to make sure, send it to my WhatsApp number. I will pick a few of the days and start calling people, go live on Instagram and Facebook, and I will call you back and have a call with you just about what you're struggling with and see if we can find a solution. So I really like the first thing that we've done today. Thanks for joining, thanks for participating in this new project, and hopefully you'll join next time and send me your questions on my WhatsApp. Have a great day, guys. Bye.